Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViewsNelp. And today I'm showing off a program called SpaceMonger. This is version 3. And this is not a free software, but it's a data management software on a single computer. But before I jump on into this and show off this program and show how it might help you in data management and data storage units, I'm going to play a personal advertisement so you know how to better support my channel, so you can help me grow the channel much more than I can do just on my own. Thanks for sticking around during this transition. Now, if you want to help me out at all, either by financial or other means, then feel free to click the Patreon button to go to my Patreon campaign, and that way you can donate there and check out what I plan to do with the money. Or you can click the PayPal button and you can donate there. You can either donate one time there or do a monthly recurrence. And lastly, if you don't want to help out with money, either because you just don't have it or whatever it is, then feel free to share this video and share my other videos. And please check out the top button to go to my main channel. But anyways, hope that you like this video, and let's bring you back to the actual video. Welcome back. Now, as I said, this is not a free program. This is a it's a paid-for program, but it's a good one at that. It's $20 for the one license, and what that means is you need one license per computer you're using it on. And I dealt with this company for a while now, so I've actually ran into this a few times. If for whatever reason you don't have access to that computer anymore, but you don't want to buy another license, the thing should automatically just log the stuff on, say for example this computer, out, and when I get in their computer and load the stuff up there with the same license, it'll activate it there and discontinue here. So when this connects to the internet, it will discontinue. They might change that in the future. They might have changed that since I last done that. But this company is actually a really good company I dealt with. But one thing I want to mention that's very important, that they've been doing more and more lately, with major updates, with minor updates being like bug fixes and small little things here and there, they tend to give those out for free. But with major updates, they tend to, you have to buy with a discount, so that's something to keep in mind. So if they're about to update, you might want to go ahead and ask them, and they seem to be truthful people. So you might want to just ask them if there's something in plans in a shortcom, and they might say yes or no, and they might tell you the features. And if you're not going to use the features, you might as well just get it now. If you're going to use the features and they do tell you the new upcoming features, then you know, hold off and then buy whenever it comes out. I dealt with this company for a while now, and they seem to be worthwhile. They seem to be very trustworthy. Now, as far as this goes, what is this about? This is a data storage management system. It's basically showing you every single thing within a given area on your computer or network. And I will get a little bit more into the network portion in a second. Now, as far as things goes, why would you use this over Windows Explorer, which is this thing right here? The reason why you'll use it is simply that it shows you everything. The Windows Explorer shows you anything in one folder. So if it's another folder that you're trying to get into, or see multiple folders at once, that means you gotta have multiple windows open, and you could run into some problems if you want to see everything. And this allows you to do that. What this does is this basically, when you start it up or move around within it, it rescans the system. So one thing I want to mention right now is if you want to look at a specific area, so for example, if I want to look at the user folder, specifically the user stuff and not programs, not this other stuff, not the system folders, then what I would do is go for the user folder. I will go into the folders or right here and just scan this, or go into the folders and find it within there. So it's very important because the bigger it is, the longer it takes to scan. Very, very important. Now, one thing I want to mention also is this should show your USB storage devices if you have them connected. Where I got right here, these are not USB storage devices. These are not USB devices. These are SD card slots. So it shows automatically your SD card and CD slots. Where I got 2 CD DVD slots, drives on my computer. For whatever reason, I don't know. I just have this blank area. And my previous computer had a DVD, so why not? But I can just basically look at through here, and the reason why it shows all the time right here is because the CD is a storage device. The SD cards are storage devices. Now the things on storage might do something particularly, but the CD itself is a storage device and the SD card's a storage device. The USB is not always a storage device. For example, your keyboard. Now, one thing that's very important is the statistics. Let's go into the all. The statistics, it shows what percentage of what is used on your computer. It's still doing a scan, as you see down here below. So it shows right here at this given time, at this point of the scan, programs is 0.4%. So programs is the biggest thing on my computer right now at this point at time in this scan, which it probably isn't when it scans the entire thing. Right now it's in the documents, so it still got a little ways to go. And it says that right now it only has 135 gigabytes within it, and I got 500 or 600, I think it's 500 gigabytes of information on here. So it gets a little ways to go, as you see here with this stuff growing. In fact, I think it's just shrunk below it. So anyways, it shows what percentage of what is on your computer, so you can figure out if it's pictures or whatever. And then you can take a look at it over here. It shows for right here, the 16 to 32. This is 16 to 32 gigabytes per file, and it's showing me out of this entire thing 17.5 gigabytes in this one or more files. And as far as this goes, let's take a look at this. I think this is image. So we have some image folders or image files that are 256 gigabytes, between 256 and 512. Sorry about that, not gigabytes, but bytes. And it shows you the relation and the total of everything in the 256 and 512 bytes adds up to 3 gigabytes. As you see here, everything's still adding up. Now, some things that you can do with this. Let's get over here real quick. Again, we got our drives, our folders, a cloud. So if you wanted to, we can switch back and forth. But what we can do with this is we can select certain things. Let's go and take a look at, and by the way, this area right here, this is the different layouts. So we got the physical, the logical, the uniform, which I prefer, and log and folder. Now with this, we have show free space, so we want the physical. There you go. That's why I prefer the uniform. and we got the what haven't been scanned right now. There shouldn't be, there should be some things that are not going to be scanned at all. And if it's above 50%, then if it's 50% or more, then you got problems. It's probably your backup, so you need to check that out. That's a huge thing to keep in mind. If it's 50% or more, it's most likely your backup. So let's unclick those, and let's try to find our user. So we can see our hierarchy. We got user or subfolder, which is my folder, or subfolder of that. We got documents, we got app, we got several other things. Then in documents, we got some subfolders and still growing. Trying to wait for the Camtasia to come up. It's still scanning it. It'll take a second or two. Let's get into this top right area or top left area, since we're waiting on some of the stuff to scan up, so we can play with the tree map a bit. The file, we can click that and start another scan, a full scan. We can stop this scan. We can go and select another drive or a cloud service. We can go into, for view simple mode, which is that. We can select the file preview or section bar, as you see here. The file preview is useful for images. It'll show the actual image right there. Everything else is kind of pointless. Show free space. So it's basically like selecting these. And then with the select, we can tell it to select all file, select none. Then if we had something select, open file, copy, move, hide, and this, delete, which actually deletes it, refresh, selected, and properties. So for example, let's go into, Camtasia should come up here shortly. So let's go into, let's click this right now. Properties, and give it a second or two and it'll come up. It actually pulls up the actual properties. Then when we, in fact, there it was. So right there, it's the actual properties. Then we, in tools, we have my computer, which actually brings up the Windows Explorer of my computer, recycle bin, recycle settings. These bring up the actual things. The map network drive, so we can select that and map a network drive into here. We can unmap it, open up Notepad, calculator, check disk, which is the disk optimization, and options, and then we got help. And again, I suggest to do some check updates when you first get this, check an update. But again, if you do have any problems overall with this actual program, go ahead and contact the developers before you contact me. They are very quick to get back. And if you are wondering about the application, about this software before you get it, or they're not contacting you for whatever reason, feel free to let me know. But go ahead and contact them. For the options, this is like selecting over here. So you got multiple places selected. Under general, we have the option of zoom in and zoom out, animation, menu open, safety. So we can basically say, are you sure on some of this stuff? Default, shell, tree map, which is this in the background. In fact, let's as you see here, just made a little bit more dense. It just got rid of a bunch of things, so it's a little bit more simple. But we want to go into normal, maybe a little bit. Yeah, let's go into normal. And we can mess around with the placement. And we can exaggerate files and folders so we can make everything big, or not so much. Style, colors, special colors, tooltips, and so on. Then we got statistics, which is this other part, which I'm going to get back into in a second. And we got colors, and then the scanning. So as far as that goes, yeah. Now that Camtasia is still not up, which is completely weird. That's not shown yet. Let's go into here. And we can actually select a piece, so if I want to check out the other personal data, it shows me everything with it. So let's go into the images real quick, select that, and it shows me all the images that it scanned so far. So I can get a good idea on all the images on the computer. As we see here, a bunch of JPEGs and everything else. And so on. Now, because this is taking a long time, what we can do with the tree map is on the left side we can select the select tool, and this is what I'm talking about, is the bigger it is, the longer it takes to scan. We can do zoom, the pan, and we can mess with the size as I showed you before. We can also mess with this zoom in, zoom out, do whatever. And we can toggle power. But as far as this goes, let's select everything, and let's say I want to see everything in the documents folder, so I can select that, and that shows me everything within the documents folder. This is the actual layout of between the documents folder and the downloads folder. Those are the two biggest ones. Maybe the Dropbox. No, actually the documents and the downloads folder is the two biggest ones. Looks like the downloads folder is the biggest one. So if I want to see just everything in the downloads folder, I can select it and it highlights it so I know what I'm looking at. Makes it a little bit easier. Then I can double click and it zooms in on that one area. And let's say I wanted to look at Camtasia Studio, find it's open. I can just select that and see how much of an area does it take, and it's so little that it's almost, no, sorry about that, I moved around. It's almost non-existent. Let's double click on that and it shows the entire thing. And from here it shows, let's zoom out a little. So from here it shows the size of the folder correlates to the size of the files inside compared to everything else around it. Trying to stay with it. And what this does is you can see, for example, this folder, it has a lot more information in it than all these others. If it is a problem as far as the videos taking too much space, do I really need this one? No, I can right click it, delete, and it will take it straight to a recycle bin, and we can go from there. Now if I wanted to go to the recycle bin, I can go right here, and as you may notice, that wasn't showing up. Alright, it's finally done, so I can actually, instead of chasing it around, we can go from there. But as you may notice, that didn't show up. So we can either go to scan folder, which I'm not going to do, refresh, and it refreshes the stuff. But let's say I want to move something back. Let's go in and copy move, and we can select where we want to move it. So if we want to move it to a network drive, then it should show up here in theory, but we can select what we want and go from there. But I don't want to move that. So that's pretty easy, and if I want to delete something directly out of there, then I can do the same thing as before. Just right click and delete. Now one thing to keep in mind is you do want to keep some of the stuff that you don't recognize. For example, the hibernation file, the page file. Hibernation file is, as you see here, it's what, 17.5 gigabytes. And the reason why that and several other things are important, like the page file over here, is those are important for your computer to the Windows computer to run normally. And when you first get your computer, those are going to be the biggest files that you have. So that's very, very important to have that. And make sure to not delete them. And there's quite a few files to not delete. So if you don't recognize it, don't delete it. And that's pretty easy to mention. So as far as this goes, let's get rid of that. Try to find recycle bin. Zoom to fit. And let's say that we want to just focus on this one thing. What we will do is let's go back to Camtasia, wherever it may be. Scan folder, and as you see here, it has everything up because it's a small folder. But let's say if we want to do documents. So it's loading up, and it takes a little bit longer. But if we want to go to a particular one, we can just click a particular one, like here, and as you see here, we see everything in it. So anyways, that's pretty much about it as far as this goes. Again, I advise for anyone who's using this to be a power user. If you're not a power user, if you don't play games on a computer, I'm not talking about solitaire, I'm talking about actual games where you put mods and actually take some size in games. If you don't do that, if you don't program, if you don't make videos, if you're not a corporation, because in corporations this could be very useful, especially for the administrator, for a small corporation that is. For a major corporation this could be a pain, but for a small corporation this could be useful in many aspects. There's a couple other examples I can give on who this could be useful for, but who this wouldn't be useful for is if you're a person who checks email and that's it. If you're a person who really doesn't do anything on a computer, then this probably won't be useful for you. I mean, it's not that much, $20, but it's $20 you can save. And for me, I can tell you right now in today's time, that's probably worth a little bit more than jumping out and getting it if you're not sure. Now, if you're not sure but you still think you might want this, feel free to leave a comment below and ask me whatever you need to figure out on this, and I'll try to help you out as best as I can. I'll also try to put out a video for whenever I hook this up to a home server. That will be several months or so, so keep that in mind. But whenever it does come out, I will try to mention how to actually hook this up, so you don't have to hook up a monitor to your home server, or you can have your home server sit to the side without a monitor, without a keyboard, without a mouse, control it remotely with another piece of software, control the data remotely with this piece of software, all on an internal network, wireless network system. And this being using an old PC. I think a lot of people will find that to be more of a use than anything else. But anyways, if you do have any questions about this particular software, then feel free to leave them in the comment section. If you got any tips for anything else, then feel free to leave that in the comment section. But also, if you do run into problems with this particular piece of software, I suggest contact the developers first, and if they don't contact you back within a let's just throw a number, 5 days, then go ahead and leave a comment below and let me know your problem, and I'll try to help you out. I probably won't be able to nail it down, but I probably will be better than you doing it on your own, because two heads are better than one in tides. But anyways, if you like this, then please leave a like, please subscribe, and please share. Please feel free to check out my Patreon campaign, and please feel free to subscribe and check out techreviewsandup.com. Hope you have a great day, and again, please leave a like and dislike if you don't.